بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Thank you for joining. Normally this is a bi-language meeting. I can see most of the attendance in English, but also this meeting recorded to be put in the website. So as beginning to, I'll start in Arabic to say something. I'll start with summarizing the result of the first half 2023 in Arabic, then in English. Then we'll open for the discussion. Okay. So بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حضرات المساهمون والمساهمات المستثمرون والمهتمين بالاستثمار في شركة الكروم العمانية، شكرا لحضوركم. هذه الحلقة النقاشية المفتوحة عن نتائج النصف الأول من 2023 وخطط الشركة وتوجهاتها المستقبلية. نسأل الله عز وجل أن يحقق اللقاء والنقاش الأهداف المرجوة منه وعرض صورة واضحة عن الشركة للحضور. ونتقدم بالشكر لهيئة سوق المال ولبورصة مسقط على الإجراءات المنظمة لهذه اللقاءات التفاعلية وكافة الدعم المقدم منهم للشركات والمساهمين. بفضل الله سبحانه وتعالى أثمرت جهود الشركة خلال الفترة من إنتاج 29,000 طن مقارنة ب 26,000 طن ومن بيع 58,000 طن مقارنة ب 25,000 طن في نفس الفترة من العام الماضي. أدى ذلك إلى تحقيق إيرادات بقيمة 4.1 مليون ريال عماني مقارنة ب 1.8 مليون ريال عماني في نفس الفترة من العام الماضي. حققنا هذا بنتيجة استمرار جهود الشركة في خفض التكاليف بالإضافة إلى زيادة كمية الإنتاج والمبيعات والاستفادة من ارتفاع أسعار مبيعات الخام خلال هذه الفترة. كما استفدنا من الفائض الإنتاجي من العام الماضي، حيث كان إنتاج العام الماضي في 2022 أعلى من المبيعات بحوالي 25,000 طن. وعليه فقد تم تحقيق صافي ربح بعد الضريبة بمبلغ وقدره حوالي 1.5 مليون ريال عماني مقارنة ب 650,000 في نفس الفترة من العام الماضي، نسبة ارتفاع 235%. كما ارتفع إجمالي حقوق الملكية والالتزامات إلى 6.9 مليون ريال عماني مقارنة ب 6.1 مليون ريال عماني كما في ديسمبر 2022. وبلغ صافي الأصول للسهم 1.945 ريال مقارنة ب 1.632 ريال للسهم الواحد في نهاية ديسمبر 2022. تكلم عن الخطط والتوقعات قصيرة وبعيدة المدى. قمنا خلال الفترة الماضية بتقوية قدرات الشركة من الناحية الاستكشافية والإنتاجية وكذلك في مجالات الاستدامة والأمن والسلامة، وذلك لتهيئة الشركة للتعامل مع خطط النمو الطموحة ومع التحديات المستقبلية المتوقعة في مجال التعدين. بالنسبة للفترة المتبقية من 23 ستدخل عمليات الشركة في طور تطوير المناجم، وذلك لتهيئة المناجم للإنتاج في عام 24. وبالتالي نتوقع أن تستقر الأرباح عند مستوى قريب من نتائج النصف الأول، يعني تكون قريبة ولن ترتفع بنفس الوتيرة اللي كانت ترتفع فيها في النصف الأول. وهنا نود أن نذكر أن عمليات التعدين تمر بمراحل، أولها الاستكشاف ومن ثم التطوير ومن ثم الإنتاج. بالنسبة لخططنا طويلة المدى فوضعنا خطط طموحة للنمو، حيث نأمل أن يرتفع إنتاجنا إلى أكثر من 300,000 طن خلال 5 سنوات. بالإضافة إلى تحسين أداء الشركة في مجال القيمة المضافة مثل الاستثمار في مشاريع الفيروكروم ومشاريع رفع التركيز. تمثل محدودية مناطق تصاريح التعدين التي تملكها الشركة أكبر تحدي للشركة، حيث أن النمو والنجاح المستقبلي قصير وطويل المدى، والخطط طويلة وقصيرة المدى تعتمد على قدرتنا على زيادة احتياطي المخزون الأرضي. كل ذلك يعتمد على حصولنا على مناطق امتياز جديدة. وفي هذا الإطار دخلت الشركة في المزايدة التي عرضتها وزارة الطاقة والمعادن في الفترة الماضية، حيث شاركت الشركة في مناقصتين لمنطقتين التعدين، ونأمل أن نوفق في الحصول على حقوق الامتياز في أحد المنطقتين أو كلاهما. كما أن الخطة البديلة هو الاتفاق مع الشركات التي قد تفوز بحقوق الامتياز، وذلك للدخول معها في الاستثمار الاستشاري والإنتاج المشترك بقامة الدول. هذا ملخص عن الفترة، بلخصها لزملائنا اللي يتحدثوا بالإنجليزي، وإن شاء الله بعد ذلك بيكون الأسئلة من الحضور. إن dear shareholders and investors and those interested in investing in Oman Chromite Company, welcome and thanks for your attendance. This open discussion about the results of the first half of 2023 And we will discuss briefly the company plans and future directions. The company efforts during the period resulted in a production of 29,000 tons of chrome ore comparing to 26,000 tons in the same period. Also, the sales reached 58,000 tons compared to 25,000 tons in the same period of last year, which led to achieving a revenue of 4.1 million compared to 1.8 million in the same period of last year. This achievement was a result of the company continuous efforts to reduce the cost, in addition in increasing the quantities of the production and sales, and benefiting from the high price of the ore during the period. We also benefited from the production surplus from the last year. Actually, the production of last year, 2022, was higher than the sales by around 25,000 tons. So we managed to sell this additional or surplus quantity in the also first half of 2023. Accordingly, net profit after tax of 1.5 million achieved compared to 650,000 Omani Riyal for the same period of last year, with an increase of 235%. Total shareholders' rights and liability also increased to 6.9 million compared to 6.1 million as of December 22. Also, net assets per shares amounted to 1.945 achieved per share achieved compared to 1.6 riyals per share, which was the result of end of December 2022. About our short and long-term plans and expectation, during the past period, we have strengthened the company capability in terms of exploration and production, as well in the area of sustainability safety. This in order to prepare the company to deal with its ambitious growth plans and prepare the company to be ready for the future challenges, especially in the mining field. For the remaining of 2023, the company operation will enter in the phase of the developing the mines in order to prepare the mines for the production of 2024. And thus the profit will stabilize at the level close to the results of the first half in 2023. To explain this, we would like to mention that mining operation go through cycles or stages. First one is exploration, then development, and then production. So it's not always we can achieve the production going up and down, depends on which phase you are. As for our long-term plans, this is about the short terms of the remaining of 2023. And about long-term plans, we have really high ambitions to increase and to grow. We hope to increase our production to more than 300,000 tons, in addition to improve the company performance in the field of added value by investing in ferrochrome projects and in projects to increase the ore concentration. The company, unfortunately, limited mining permits limited areas represent the company's greatest challenge for the future growth. The success of the short and long-term plans depends on our ability to increase our ore reserves. Hence, obtaining a new concession area is key factor for us. In this context, the company entered into bidding or entered in the bid which offered by the Ministry of Energy and Minerals in the last period. The company participated in 2 tenders of 2 big or large mining areas. We hope that we will succeed in obtaining concession rights in one of the 2 of this area or both of them. The alternative plan, if we did not succeed, is to agree with the companies that may win the concession rights in these areas and to enter in joint exploration and production investments for the chrome ore. This summarized the last result of the last period, and also this high-level context about what we want to do in the future. I'll leave it for you. Any questions that we can answer, or any request for clarification we can give to the audience. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for the presentation. This is Abbas again. Norwegian Capital. Congratulations on a very, very fantastic performance over the last year and the first half. I'll be honest. This year is when I seriously started looking at the company. Because the company has been doing exceptionally well. It's just that it's escaped the investors' radar, the bigger ones, because of the limited size. It's a relatively small company. And after seeing this year's performance, people like me have suddenly woken up to it and started paying closer attention to the company. So my knowledge of the company is a bit, limited. So, I might come across as a little naive, but, I would appreciate your patience and, hoping that you can sort of take us through the companies, in terms of how to, just to better understanding, of the investor community when it comes to understanding a mining sort of operation of your scale. So I have done some background work. I've plotted down your production and your selling volumes over the last few years. Now, what really changed? Because when I look at 2019 and 20, in 19 you sold 27,000 tons, in 20 there was 9,000, and suddenly 21, 22 has really taken off. So what's happened to the company over the last few years, and which has led to this sort of performance on the production side? And then my follow-up question is on the selling side, because I see there's a lot of fluctuation in your selling price per ton. So, but from my understanding, it's a commodity. So the prices will be set in global markets. I don't think there'll be a special price for Oman and outside Oman. So I just wanted to understand what's going on in this market, and what's your outlook for the future.
Thank you, Mr. Abbas. Thank you for first the good words about the company, and hopefully we meet expectation for the investors. Actually, is our aspiration to bring more investors to the mining sector in Oman, not only our company. Okay, and we put it as mandate for us. And that's why 3 years back, we sit here as management team with our board, and we discussed how we can change the company to higher profile. Means increasing the production, increasing sales, increasing our reputation in the market. We found there's a lot of challenge, of course, in the mining sector of Oman. Let's say, company, I think we are the only or maybe 2 companies listed in the mining. Okay, I'm not sure about this, but we are the main one in the mining sector. Okay, and it's important for us that also our visibility to the investors to be clear and let's say, so we can attract not only local, even international investors. So putting all this in context, we sit together 3 years back, we review our plan, and we said we have first to develop the company's strength in terms of production capacity, exploration capacity. For example, we have now increased exploration we have 6 geologists, for example. Production team is stronger, we have planning team. So we start to enter also getting a new technology in terms of exploration and planning and operation, production. All these things put us that we have to grow, and we increased our production. We set a plans for 5 years to increase our production to 300,000, and also our plans is to make let's say a hub for other companies to so we can buy the ores and sell it to the outward, to China or internal plants in Oman, internal customers in Oman. So all these things we need, let's say, resulted in the growth, but it's not our aspiration. Our aspiration to increase to much higher growth. Unfortunately, the challenge with mining sector facing in Oman is how the mining, let's say, permits and concession organized. Because government also, with the new change, when the mining moved to the Ministry of Minerals and Energy and Minerals, they also find there is a need to improve the way they give the concessions. Okay, and that's why they make the permits more difficult in order they organize their in-house for a future of how they put the tenders. This is put the mining company in troubles, because stopping a new permits is like stopping the oxygen. Okay, because the mining depends on having a new area and depends on having a new reserve. Alhamdulillah, now things start to move again. The ministry start to put concessions, and we are entering in a new concession bid and hopefully that will help us, because to achieve our mining plan, our business plan, we need to ensure we have enough reserve. Because without reserve, it's difficult to build any plan, okay, or to execute any plan. That's in summary. So what make the company change its performance is really the efforts we made here in-house to strengthen the company. We believe we are ready for future growth. It all depends on now we're getting the concessions from the ministry, and also we put plans, also different plan B in case we don't win. We'll try also to build a relationship with the people who win the concessions, because the way the ministry they put the concessions now is for multi-mines, not for only chrome. So they give around 1,000 kilometer plus concession area, big blocks, and that contain chromite, contain copper, potential of course, gold, whatever. So we have to, and gypsum. So the winner of that concession have to explore multi-minerals. Okay, and that's a new game for us. And of course, we are preparing the company for both options. If we win the big concession, or if we have to deal with the winner of that concession and how to come with the joint investments. That's in summary.
Thank you. Sorry, yes, thank you for the. No, you've been very helpful with that summary and with that overview. And you sort of taken us to the company's sort of past and why. I mean, that explains it. So thank you very much. I have a few follow-up questions, if you'll allow me. So when it comes to your existing concession, are you working out of one facility, like one area, or are there multiple areas concession that you're working out of on the current production?
No, it's multiple area. It will be much better it was if it was one area, but then we can plan better. But unfortunately, it's multiple areas and small areas also. Our total areas around maybe 10 kilometer squares in different areas. Some of them in exploration phase, some of them is already old mines. Already we consume. Right. Okay. So without having a new area, it will be very difficult. Okay. And this not for us, for any mining company working in this field. Also, that's planning, because now put me or put the company in challenge in how to have consistent results, okay? Because as I mentioned, the mining going to phases of exploration, development, and then production, and that means sometimes last year we achieved 105,000 tons, but this year we don't expect the same. It will be lower, okay? When you have a big area, you can plan very well, and you can have more consistent or more stable production plan. Even for investors, they know what we are going to achieve. But unfortunately, our reality now is a bit in, let's say, firefighting mode until we come to the really grab the big area we have the aspiration to have.
Understood. And let's say you are not able to grab the big area. You already spoke about the alternate strategy. But if I look at your existing concession, what's your reserve to production number? I mean, what sort of reserves are you looking at in the current facility? You produced 100,000 last year. Is there a scale, a reserve to production number like oil and, on the oil side, we look at it. Is there a similar number in the mining business?
Not like the oil, because oil is a liquid, and normally you spend development, and then you can see from the soil and how much you can produce for next 4 years. In our small field, it's very difficult. However, we have high-level plan. That's let's say we expect around 50,000 tons to be for this year and next year. Okay, but after that will be much difficult, very, very difficult to achieve production.
Okay, this is clear. And this 50,000 expectation is based on some sort of study of the ground that you have, right? Study of the concession that you have, which will tell you what sort of ore deposits are in the concession area.
So to give you idea, and the mining, of course, we make depends on the first we do geophysics study, but that's give us surface indication. But the main method to determine how much reserve you have is drilling. So we drill a lot of wells, and we anticipate how much will be the with good accuracy level, how much remaining reserve. Okay.
Got it. Right.
it. So that's me. The other challenge we face, of course, with the old mines become more expensive. New mine become cheaper.
Sure. Right.
Old mine is expensive. The best strategy is to have old and new mines together. So you have a stable cost and stable productions.
Understood. Thank you for that. That's great clarity. Now, before I come to the new concession area, because you mentioned it in your comments today and even in your notes, when it comes to your existing iron ore that you chromite ore, sorry, that you're producing, the selling prices per ton, I've seen there's a lot of variation in that as well. It was 88 riyals on average in 19, it went to 40 riyals in 21, and right now it's around 100 plus 120. Now, this is basically an international benchmark, right, that decides these prices. Even though 70% of your sales are in the country, there's an international benchmark. And what sort of visibility do you have? Like, is it a long-term contract you have with your clients? Is it 3 months contract? What's the nature of these contracts, sir?
Okay, so actually, first, the big player in this market, the chromite, is the biggest consumers in China. So the market price normally depends on how much the price in China. And there is one website called, or one, let's say, market called ferroalloy.net. Okay, so that's the reference price normally for the chrome ore. So we have the two players. The main players is China as biggest consumer, and also South Africa as the biggest producer. So anything happening in one of these two countries impact the prices and can fluctuate. Here now, our strategy for when we have small volumes, normally we are doing bids. Okay, so every time we have like 5,000 tons, we put it in the market and try to achieve results better than what is in the ferroalloy.net published price. But of course, if we increase our production, we have to go through long-term contracts. We are not worried about the demands, okay, and because demands is very high compared to the production volume of Oman production. Okay. China is importing almost 14 million tons, and where in Oman we are producing 400,000 roughly. So it's not too much worry about the market. There is high demand, more than our capacity to produce. The cost depends, of course, on also the grade which we are producing. But this is very almost transparent in the market as supply and demand factors there. Okay. So if we make long-term contract, we try to design it based on the international market fluctuation. Right.
And these prices, are they available on a monthly basis? And by this ferroalloy, alloy, you said the prices that are available as a benchmark. Is it reset on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis?
No, it's actually even weekly basis.
Wow. Okay.
So this is not like LME as a thing. Chromite is less mature compared to others, but still supply and demand is there and very clear.
So the fact that right, sorry, yes, sir, please go on. Sorry to interrupt you. Yes.
About maybe you mentioned some prices was lower as etheric, because one factor investors don't see it normally is how much what the grade we are putting in for sale. You see the etheric price,
right?
You don't know what the grade we have at that time. So hopefully we can have better way of displaying our results.
No, okay. So that's a pretty interesting point that you raised. So even though I have your production and your sales number, I'll not know the product mix in terms of what sort of grade of alloy or ore are you selling. And there's a big, I imagine, between the high grade and the lowest grade that you produce. What's the price difference? Is there a huge price difference between the highest and the lowest quality of chromite ore that you sell?
Not very high, but look, if there is the grade we are selling from 28% of concentration to 36 roughly.
Okay. Got it. Okay, understood. Okay. Right.
And the difference in the grade between the highest and lowest range almost so around $100. Okay.
$100. Okay, per ton. Okay. Right. Okay. Which is a big difference, because currently your selling price is around $300. So that's a big difference on average, I'm saying, at least based on the first half results. So okay, this is and there is no way for you to lock in the current prices, right? Now that I have this number of $300 per ton that you realize for the first half, there is no way for you to lock in for the remainder of the year, for the next 1 year. There is no long-term way you can lock this price, right? No, that's not how the market pricing works. Okay.
Unfortunately, that's that's the life. But our job is to ensure the cost is down. We cannot control the market. Right. Okay, that's
understood. Clear. And in terms of cost of production, I was going through your cost of sales and your G&A cost. It seems there's a 10% royalty that you need to pay the government. So let me tackle it one by one. On the royalty side, do you see any moves in the country of increasing royalty or reducing royalty, or you think this level will remain consistent?
The tender which the government gave to us now seemed to be, of course, nobody decreased. Okay, so and also there's no tendency to increase without, let's say, some justification. So my expectation to remain at this royalty, but there is a new term that we are trying to clarify with the ministry. They speak about progressive royalty. Means if the etheric price was a certain level and suddenly a big increase, government won't share in that also, increase in the price. This is coming from the oil model, and somehow they want to apply it in the minerals, and new for all of us. So we're trying to understand it more. Okay, with the concerned authorities.
Otherwise, the current structure is 10% royalty on the sales of the company?
Yes, because royalty based on the sales, not on the profit.
Correct. So it's on the sales of the company. Okay,
yes.
Got it. So this is the current structure. Now, if I link my following question, when I was seeing your cost of production, there is this amortization charge, right? Now, this is, I imagine, related to when you explore, let's say you get this new concession area in Liva, for example. And then the money that you spend exploring the area, studying without really producing anything, that you're not expensing on your income statement, right? You're capitalizing it. And when the area becomes feasible and you start producing, you start expensing it on an annual basis. Does that make sense? My understanding, is it correct, or am I missing something?
No, you are right. Actually, amortization when there is unsuccessful exploration, for example. Okay.
Okay.
Because if there's unsuccessful exploration, you go for amortization. Okay, because you don't success in each exploration. There are some areas you achieve results in terms of additional reserve, and there is some areas you spend money but you don't get any reserve. So you have to make write-off or amortization in the same period. Okay, capitalization is what you mentioned. If I discover something, and the cost of the discovery is X reals, then normally you capitalize, okay? And also during the development phase, because sometimes we spend like 8 months that we are removing the waste around the ore, okay? And then in the 3 months we are producing, or maybe more than that, 6 months, for example, okay? So you capitalize. You don't want to show a negative result during capitalization because that's natural of the business, okay? So did you get it? The difference between capitalization?
Yes. The capitalization was clear to me. I thought amortization is effectively so when you explain the amortization, it means that if you're drilling and you're not successful, you are immediately expensing it on your income statement, right? Which is fair, which is a conservative way of doing it, right? That you spend the money and you expense it. You didn't put it on your balance sheet, you expense it on your income statement.
True. Yes.
Okay. Right.
No, you are good, and so we need to invite you here to see the mining operation more deep.
Actually, I would love to.
Maybe if we have, when inshallah, and we are looking forward to have the big concession, okay?
Right.
And when we get it, I think we'll make even maybe not now, but maybe after 1 year when things more clear, because I'm very keen to have the investors, the media, to know more about the mining and how it works. Okay, so we might make one trip to invite the people to go and see how is the mining, and we can explain more things on reality as well.
Sure. When do you expect to find out about this concession? Because clearly you are competing with some other guys, right, to try and win this concession. When should you find out, one way or the other?
They said within 2 to 3 months.
Okay. So 2 to 3 months you'll have an answer.
Yes. So
Okay.
this year we will know. Yes.
And do you see need for additional capital? You know, you raised a very interesting point at the start, which I don't hear from a lot of CEOs, where you said that, you know, you want your company to be more visible in the MSX. You want more people to become aware of it. You know, one of the reasons why it came to awareness for people like us is the stock price. You know, the stock price started moving, you know, the company's profitability started moving, and people like me, you know, started attending the call. Now, another challenge that the company, in my opinion, faces is that it's a very small capitalized company with a very small free float. I think 80% of your shares are held by very few investors. Now, for a company, you know, the kind of ambition that you have, that you want to grow your production from 100,000, 300,000 tons, do you feel that at some point you need to come in the market and raise new rights issue or new sort of capital? Do you see anything of that sort happening?
Current plan, if growth in the production depends on how big area government give to us. Okay, if we, for example, if we take one, we bid for 2 concessions. If I win 1 concession, I will not need additional capital. I already have enough, let's say, cash to manage the exploration expenses. Okay. If I got 2 areas, of course, I will need more. And this is, I have to back to the assembly, and we discussed it first with our, because have to be right issue first. Okay, and discuss with our existing shareholders. We put plans also, and that's all depends on the upstream, the reserve. We put plans to, let's say, participate or encourage people to come for this downstream, which is the ferrochrome plants. Okay. In this case, I will need increase in the capitals. Okay. So actually, this period of beginning of let's say remaining period of 2023 is very important to us. How big we are going to be? Okay. In normal growth, what we put to 300,000, we can manage without investing in the ferrochrome. If I want to go with high gear, or to invest in the ferrochrome and also the big scale, then of course I will need capital, and that's why as more investors know and the public know about the company, it will be better. Yes, I agree with you that almost 88% of the things is liquidation of our let's say shares is not very high. Okay, and that's something also to be discussed, because normally, as a mining company in public listed, you would like to have more people, okay, more liquidity. Anyway, let's see what's coming by end of this year, and hopefully I can give you more clear answer by next meeting, inshallah.
Thank you so much for that. Last question for me, and then I'm sure there are a lot of other people on the call who would like to ask you, but they might benefit from the question. Can you speak about this ferrochrome project? Because you mentioned it. What exactly is the scale of this project? What are you looking to do? And that's my last question. Thank you.
Thanks. Actually, now we participate in a small low carbon ferrochrome project. Okay, it's supposed to produce like 17,000 tons. Okay, and normally you can take a ratio of 3 to 1. So if you produce 17, you need around 17 times 3 as all. Okay. This is for the premium product called low carbon ferrochrome. Small plant, we are participating with the foreign investors in Oman. If we go for, if we take the big areas and our production increase, there is a need to have a big high carbon ferrochrome plant. The investment value around $70 million. Okay. Is capacity to produce around let's say 80,000 tons, so you can multiply by 3, so 210 to 240,000 tons of ore requires. Okay, of course nobody will spend in investing in new ferrochrome plants. There is one in Oman already operating, but for us to invest in a new one without having a reserve is not a very good option. Okay, so we speak about $70 million roughly investments. Okay, project cost, and of course there will be finance cost, there will be shareholders. Is also we have to decide are we want to be, let's say, the owner of the 100%, or I want to have joint venture to join us with the specialized company, especially from from maybe from the consumer side as the Chinese, or from expert people from a country that like Turkey or South Africa or Brazil, that they already having similar plans. All these things under discussion, how to grow in this field. Sure, number one, we have to solve the upstream, which is the concession areas.
Wow, this sounds exciting. Wow. Okay. And yeah, sorry, you were saying something. Yes.
No, that's the main thing, because even for us to go and speak to big players to come to Oman without having reserve, it's very difficult, okay, or without having data. I think what will happen in Oman for next 2 years in the mining, it will be very exciting, as you mentioned.
Wow. Yeah, this is news to us. I think I would love the opportunity to ask you another question, but let me not be rude, because other people may have other questions. I'll come back in case there's still time, but I'll reach out to you, sir, and then see if I can come and meet you as well. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, but I think thank you. You make the discussion rich, because anyway, unfortunately, the attendance in this meeting is not very high. Okay, and maybe because of our liquidity also on the market. Anyway, we have to see, and somehow we have to come around it. Okay,
yeah, we can work on that. Yes.
Any other question from the others? Seem to be no. There was. So any final question, Mr. Abbas?
Yes, sir. I was just wondering, I've been reading about, the focus on the mining sector in Oman, and, this mining development company of Oman is a shareholder in your company as well. How do you see, and you spoke about, it's very interesting that you mentioned, because I missed out and I was just reflecting on it, that you spoke about the concession area not just being a chromite ore concession area. It's going to be bigger than that. Now, when you speak to the authorities in the country, what sort of role do you feel an old company, a big company like Oman Chromite can play in this mining sector development? Like, what are your aspirations for the company beyond the mining business? You already spoke about the 300,000 ton that you're looking at the chromite ore business, but looks like you're looking to scale up this company. I mean, can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, we want to focus also. So we want to scale up the company in the mining. We are a mining company, okay? At the same time, we want to be promoter for the downstream, okay? And that's all depends now on downstream, I mean the ferrochrome, because for our plans is to take the chromite and convert it to ferrochrome, okay? But when we come for other minerals, and that's the new rule of the game, which the ministry, they put on the table. They give big concession with too many metals at the same time, okay? So also, anyway, we have to be flexible enough to adapt, and to also to work together with the other companies like our shareholders, as you mentioned, MDO, Mawarid, and any other players that we can join together to make good business for everybody. So I don't think I'm going beyond the mining, because I want to focus on the mining. And of course, mining come with this is downstream products. And to give you example about the chromite comes from the ore and then goes to ferrochrome, which is we call it normally the industry midstream. And this ferrochrome used in the stainless steel industry. So there is under the final downstream. And yes, it's our interest actually if there is investors come and develop in downstream in Oman. To give us more, let's say, more courage to invest more if there is a customer close to you. Okay, and we're more confident that I have a client very close to me. We have in Oman all the opportunity to do this. We have the gas, we have the electricity. When I compare it to our competitive countries like South Africa, and even China, they really facing a big challenge in the supply of electricity. Okay, so we have a competitive advantage in terms of energy here, but we need to find a way how to utilize it. That's basically.
Okay, that's very interesting. Can I just talk about this 20% shareholding that you bought in Gulf Alloys and Metals LLC? I mean, we only have limited information, but it looks like the company is loss making for the last couple of years, and it seems that you've paid a little bit above equity. What's the rationale for this, and what's your outlook?
The losses actually, there's two things. First, from accounting point of view, because the plant finished and the audit file of the company saying there was some expenditure that was not capitalized. Okay, and because we did not start production, so it was recorded as losses. This is we face a challenge in this new plant, and alhamdulillah, we think we come around it now. There was foreign investors come to Oman. They invest in the free zone, and we enter with them with 20%. And that's our strategy, that we promote investing in the midstream. Okay. So we start the project, but unfortunately, we did not success to get the financing, the working capital. Okay, and even financing of the project as what was the plan. So the shareholders decided to pump money themselves, including us, and we completed the plant with 100% equity. Okay. Now is the working capital. We're almost coming to a solution with the potential player to come and operate the plants. So inshallah, by end of this, let's say end of Q3, the production will start again, and we'll start to get the profit from this plant.
And what exactly are they doing, these guys?
We're doing something called low carbon ferrochrome. Is it your question?
Okay. Or? Yeah. I was wondering exactly what is Gulf Alloys and Metals Company. What's their business basically, right?
Okay. So what happened in there's in this there was let's say the process that the ore is taken to the furnace, and there will be two stage furnace. Anyway, as a result, we convert the ore to more let's say low carbon ferrochrome, they call it. Which is we remove the waste, the silica and other things, and increase the ore concentration from 30 to almost 70, you can say 68, with low carbon content. Okay, this product can be utilized in the special steel, like stainless steel, but for really this premium product, very high premium product. The people who buy it, they can use it for this normal stainless steel sheets. They can use it also for special alloys. Okay, so it's a new product in the ferrochrome family. We think it's a premium product, and we think it will have high demand in the future, because it's consume less energy for the people there, and give the stainless steel people who's doing special alloys like electrical cars, whatever. Okay, give them more let's say flexibility in their process.
Understood. Got it.
It's not a new technology normally, but right. Is like to give you idea, stainless steel as 95% using the high carbon and 5% using the low carbon. Okay, but we saw a growth in this one, so it's like the future coming for the special alloy. Yeah?
Understood. Got it. Okay. And you said that you expect this company to turn a profit by next year. You expect the company to become profitable by next year. No, and you spoke about this ferrochrome project, that you're doing some sort of a pilot study right now. When do you find out the results of the study? Like before you can take it large scale?
That's why I hope by next meeting, inshallah, we'll give you more answers, because the high numbers about how much the cost the project is there. Okay, we know how much that will cost. Okay, but the feasibility and decision to make feasibility and which direction, I mean, are we going to do the same like Gulf Alloy? We enter as 20% only and invite investor from outside to come, or we want to be 50%? This is the strategy that we are shaping now. Okay, and depends on the reserve we have, and depends also as we discussed before about, do we want to have increase in capital? Okay, and that's of course decision I have to take it to my existing shareholders, and then or no, we keep our capital as it is and just promote and enter with minority in these things. This is hopefully
understood.
Have more clear after I sit with my shareholders, of course, and discuss about.
Okay, this is pretty interesting. So if you manage to get the new concession, then you're already planning some sort of a downstream plan for that concession. It sounds pretty exciting. Great. We look forward to hearing from you regarding these developments. But it's a pleasure interacting with you. And then I learned so much today. So thank you for your time. And then all the very best to you.
Thank you for attendance and this rich discussion. Thanks. Bala, I think please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for all the answers. This is Abbas's colleague. Just had a couple of questions, more on sort of understanding the business model. Now, the way you explained for your company or for the sector, there is a phase where you basically bid for a concession, and once you are awarded that in one form or the other, directly or via the person who's awarded it, you then do an exploration to sort of find out how much you can extract from the site. Is that correct?
Yes, it's true, because this is there's international standards, like there's which governance this, like JORC, Australian standards called JORC, which specify JORC certification. That you give confident level that the reserve is there, okay, and you can bring investors, for example, if you want, based on that certification. So yes, you study and then you evaluate and then you raise the and then you say is it proven reserve or not? Okay.
Understood. So where I'm coming from is, how you have for industrial company, typically you have a production capacity and you have a utilization, right? Now in your case, the production capacity itself would be contingent on the sort of concession that you're working on at that point in time. So there would be a cycle where at one point in time you've done the exploration and now it's time to sort of extract and sell, and phases where you're doing the exploration and you don't have that kind of quantity to extract. Is that understanding correct?
Yes, as a cycle, you understand what you have and then you decide to increase your production capacity. Okay.
Right. Now,
the strategy,
got it. And you mentioned
the strategy we put here, if I growth my production team for 300,000 because there will be a challenge if I don't achieve 300 enough reserve, then I will have fixed cost, high fixed cost. Okay, so we make balanced approach that we're trying to increase our production capacity to 1/3 of planned results, and which is like 100,000 by increasing the production teams, producing some equipments, and the rest we can make minimum investments and outsource it.
Okay, so you want to basically triple up. So you're currently at 100, you want to scale it up to 300 so that the costs are justified and the company can do better from operational perspective, correct?
Yeah, but I'm trying to clarify here that doesn't mean I will buy 3 times more equipment. Okay.
No, I understand. We understood that the ratio of expenses to sort of production is not linear. So for a minimum investment, you would have a higher output.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. And in terms of reserves for chromite for your main product, what are the proven reserves in Oman? I understand it's an ongoing process, but what are the sort of proven reserves for chromite in Oman?
There is no data. Nobody knows, and that's why the struggle we have in the new concession area. There is no data. So normally, in many countries, the governments invest in some data, initial data, and then give it to the companies. So up to now, I cannot tell you what is the reserve in Oman. I don't think anybody knows, and that's the struggle. That's why the government was not happy in the previous model, because we always produce and we don't know how much available. So I think they are moving in the direction that to have more confidence in the data.
So and the rationale for my question was, we always try and correlate a sort of mineral company with the oil model, where you have some proven reserves. There are blocks that are sort of put up for exploration. Companies come bid for them, they explore, they extract. So that's why we try to correlate it with oil, but like you explained, it's different. But is that not a concern for your company, where you say, over the next 3 to 5 years, and I mean, as investors, we take sometimes a short-term or medium-term view, but you obviously, or the government has an extremely long-term view. So when it comes to sort of not having availability on such data, is that a concern, or is there a way to to sort of get a better understanding of these reserves or these areas, or is that something you think is just the nature of this particular mineral?
No, first we are optimistic in the long term because we have at least, we cannot say 100% that the reserve available or the resources available in Oman, but looking at the nature of the rocks and our know-how about the country, we are very optimistic actually about the future, but there's a high concern about the short terms because we are existing company and our shareholders want results, and also I have expenses, so I have to ensure the tab is not closed. So if there is the game that the country or the ministry want to reorganize the sector is fair, but if that take longer time, that might kill people. And this is, we want to balance, kill some business, I mean. So we have to find the balance, and I think the ministry, they are hearing to us, okay? And that's why they're trying to maximize to accelerate their process. Okay.
And just
unfortunately,
yeah, please go ahead.
Things in Oman is slow sometimes. Sometimes you have one ministry fast, there is other ministries slowing down. That's the unfortunately the difficulties we face as investors. But I can tell there is improvement.
Got it. Just last two questions from my side. Now, you mentioned, China's annual sort of demand is 14 million tons. Oman does approximately 400,000 tons as of now. In terms of utilization, so once you produce a certain quantity based on your exploration extraction, the utilization or at least the sales is entirely 100%. That you've never faced a problem with sort of oversupply as of now.
What was the last word? We don't have problem with what? Sorry.
Oversupply, where you produce more and are unable to sell. So there is no oversupply problem. There's sufficient demand to meet any sort of production that you do in Oman.
No, I don't think we have much very let's say competitive advantage comparing to Turkey and South Africa. Okay, it's just the challenge to have the right ore at the right time. As with the information which we have now, nobody knows the future, of course. But we don't see a problem. If we, as a country, grow to 1 million, I think the demand will be there. Okay, and also, by the way, we can instead demand for the ore. Also, there we have the opportunity to make this what I told you about ferrochrome plants. Okay, so we can add value and sell it to the stainless steel, which is continuous business. We don't have problem. We are as a country in better competitive position.
And sorry, when you say competitive advantage, what could you just elaborate on that? What would be the competitive advantage in terms of ease of extraction or geographical location?
No, extraction is, of course, that's production limitation. It depends on the reserve. But we are competitive because of the energy availability. It doesn't have to be the cost. But the energy for the transfer of the ferrochrome, when you compare it to South Africa, we are in much better shape.
All right, noted. Thank you so much once again, and wish you all the best. Look forward to interacting with you in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I think we come to the 1 hour. If there's any final question, then thank you very much. Thanks for your let's say rich question. It's actually I'm so happy to have these questions, which is in line with our also publishing ourselves and the sector and the investor and sector to understand our reality. Thank you, and hopefully we meet inshallah by after end of 2023 results with more clear and picture. Okay. Thank you very much, and with a good result also. Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you.